welcome to our weekly wing, and it's the first Thursday of the month, so much fun. It's a Taste Test Thursday.
All right, and today we're doing gluten-free breads. Something that we've talked about gluten very extensively. I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot more as you watch us. But we want to actually taste test some of the breads that are easily available in the grocery store to kind of see which gluten-free breads have the most bread-like texture, what are the pros and cons of the different breads, and so that is what we're doing today.
So the super cool thing is, choosing just sort of the white bread equivalent on gluten-free bread. I think pretty much everybody thinks that those are pretty gross tasting breads. So we have the multigrain options here, and they really do have a lot of common threads in terms of the multigrains that are gluten-free. So millet or chia seed or
amaranth, teff.
Yeah, so those things are common threads in these multigrain breads. The things that did differ in the breads is the amount of fiber. Even though they're multigrain, if you grind it fine enough into a fine enough fiber, fine enough powder, it just becomes like white flour. So some of them are not, in case you were thinking that it would be really chunky or chewy or, I don't know, stony or twiggy. Many of them actually have low fiber in them, so that's not going to be a big deal for you.
All right, and then it's very hard to find gluten-free breads that are also egg-free, and we do actually have an egg-free option that we're going to taste test, and we'll point that one out to you, because that is something we hear all the time of, like, I'm gluten-free and I can't have eggs, what can I have? All right, so let's get started. The first one we're going to do is 3 Bakers. This is their 7-grain bread. All right. And all gluten-free bread is better toasted. That is also true across the board. So we toasted ours.
Okay, we're back. Okay, so the 3 Bakers bread, you can actually taste, I'm thinking maybe sunflower seeds in there. I like it. I kind of like a nutty, seedy bread, and this is a good bread to me.
And this is the one that actually has the most fiber. It has 3 grams of fiber. I take that back. It's not the one with the most fiber. 4 grams of sugar. Yeah, it has a good bread texture, so I think this is a good one if you're making a transition to gluten-free, that you wouldn't really notice that it's gluten-free.
And the 3 Bakers also has the most sugar at 4 grams.
Excuse me. All right, our second one is Canyon Bakehouse, and that is this brand for you guys. This has 1 gram of fiber, 2 grams of sugar. Is that this one? And again, toasted for gluten-free yumminess. But definitely a little sweeter than 3 Bakers. Not as nutty and whole grain tasting. But again, really good texture.
I think it's a good one if you think you're going to be mourning the loss of bread in your life. This is a good bread. I mean, I think this is a good substitute.
Yeah, and if you tend to eat more white bread, this would definitely be
this would work for you.
Yeah, and texture is really hard in gluten-free bread, so so far I'm impressed with these first 2. All right, the next one is the Food for Life, and this is our vegan gluten-free breads. This is one that does not have any eggs. We didn't mention it, but they are all dairy-free, soy-free, and nut-free. There are seeds in them, but almost the other 3 do have eggs, and a lot of them have corn in them.
I'm going to try to see if I can show you that. Okay, so they all kind of held together in toasting except the egg-free one, so it just kind of fell apart into pieces.
And that was also the hardest one to get apart.
That's what happens when you're an egg, right? You help to hold it together, you bind it.
Yeah, they're all found in the frozen section, and sometimes it's hard to actually get this slices apart. The easiest way is to use a knife and just kind of wiggle between, and this is definitely the hardest one to get apart with it being whole.
No comments.
This brand has had a white rice flour bread and a brown rice flour bread out for a long time. And they're what you might think of when you think of gluten-free breads. They tend to be very gummy. They don't tend to be very pleasant. This is definitely a huge improvement. And if you have to have a vegan gluten-free bread, it's definitely palatable. It is going to be super crunchy, so you're not going to make a good sandwich out of it. They do definitely fall apart as you try to eat them. So, and this one is definitely one of the worst for that.
Honestly, it kind of tastes like when I was a kid and we made paper mache at school. It was like paper mache. Not liking that one at all.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be like a snack bread, but it would be a carrying situation, and it doesn't do that very well though. So this is if you want bread and you have to be vegan and gluten free, something exists for you.
And you know, I'm usually the one who likes the strangest things on the taste test, but that one. Oh.
Yeah, and the last one is Udi's, and this one, I can't see our notes, excuse me, has 1 gram of fiber and 3 grams of sugar, and eggs again.
And Udi's is very, very easy to find in any grocery store. It's probably one of the bigger gluten-free brands.
Yeah,
I like their pizza the best because they make thin crust pizza.
And they have cinnamon rolls, they have English muffins, so definitely they have the broad variety as well.
Yeah. So I think Udi's is a good transition bread too.
It's definitely gummier, which again is pretty common in gluten-free breads, but extremely available. Yeah, I think I like the 3 bakers the best. That would definitely be my go-to of the 4 that we've taste tested today.
That was my favorite too because it was nutty and seedy, and I really like that kind of a chunky bread. But if you don't like nutty, seedy breads, I think the Udi's.
Yeah, I agree. Udi's would be my number 2. If you're more of a white bread eater, or you don't like that whole grain flavor, the vegan one exists for you.
It's there.
And I actually like the texture of Canyon Bakehouse, and it actually was the least expensive. Gluten-free breads can certainly be on the pricier side, and Canyon Bakehouse was like $4 a loaf, where some of these others were $7. So again, it's a good value brand for gluten-free.
And you know what? If you're paying $7 for a loaf of bread, you're probably not going to have bread for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's going to help you in the big picture with decreasing your carbohydrate intake. So I think it's a win. I think it's a win.
All right, so this doesn't always happen, but we actually know what we're taste testing next month, which is going to be noodle alternatives, including zoodles. You might have heard of zoodles, you might have even made zoodles, but we are going to taste test zoodles as well as some other gluten-free or pasta alternatives. So come back next month for that, and come back next week for whatever it is we're going to talk about, which we will know next Thursday.
All right, have a great week. We'll post a picture of the different brands that we tasted, and if we get some really fun comments from our staff, we'll add that too. But I don't know, it's not going to be as exciting, the comments on these breads, I think. All right, have a great week.
Thanks, Sandy, for watching.